Hi, loves. So I wanted to take a moment to introduce you to the Sovereign Sexuality Self-Study Bundles. These are three separate audio practice bundles that I've put together because we just finished the first year of the Sovereign Sexuality membership. That was myself, Dionysia LaFay, and Jasmine Patton. We were doing a webinar every other week on various topics related to sovereign sexuality. I was creating practices every month. It was amazing and it was rich, and we covered a lot of terrain, and we ended up with an archive of all this awesome content. So I went ahead and curated it into three different bundles. So they're available now for those of you who weren't part of the membership or who would benefit from having a more kind of self-study, personal library version of the experience. I want to tell you what the three bundles are. You can purchase them individually. You can purchase them discounted, as a series. But I want to introduce you to them and let you know what is in each of them so you can get a sense of if any of this would serve you. The first is the Sovereign Sexuality Healing Bundle. So, my intention was to curate, kind of pull out from the content different threads, right, linking together some of the places we went. And healing was definitely, obviously, a theme through a lot of this. So in the healing bundle, there are 6 webinars. So what you're getting in all of them are basically the recordings of the webinars. In each webinar, we often start with a practice. We introduce the topic, 3 points around the topic. There's some discussion. So there's 6 webinars there. I created an additional hour-long discussion offering called 7 Wisdoms for Companioning Your Trauma, and that actually wasn't in the membership. I just created that as part of this bundle. That brings forward 7 key wisdoms that I've discovered personally that support this process of actually companioning your trauma through whatever length of time, whatever it's going to take, right, to resolve in you. Because of course, in intimate relationships, what often surfaces, right? All the residual impact of many things. Also in the healing bundle are 2 guided practices that I created. One is called the Activated Trauma First Aid Practice. It's a practice for down-regulating and de-escalating the nervous system when you get activated. And then another one called Learning to Tolerate Longing. And this is a practice that looks at and works with the longing, how that exists in you and your tolerance for it, right? Because it's going to be forever present. And a lot of us kind of live in a certain amount of torment around our longing, but we want to bring it to be the ally that it is, right? The nourishment that it can really be. A couple of the topic examples for this are sex that's bonding, not binding, attachment styles, trauma bonding, working with triggers. Okay, so that's the healing bundle. The second bundle is the personal power bundle, and in a way this is kind of the core bundle of the whole Sovereign Sexuality membership. We're looking there at topics and terrain related to where is your personal power and your personal sovereignty in relationship to your sexuality, right? So in that there are 9 webinars. There is a single practice, it's called Sovereignty and Communion, and it looks at this very fundamental dance that we all make between kind of being one unto ourselves and all that is required in order to feel healthy and intact in that, and then the entirely other terrain of being in union with another, and all that opens up. And this dance, that whether we're in partnership or not, or what's happening, we are in a dance between these 2 things. A lot of us suffer a lot even in the transition between them. So sovereignty and communion is a depth practice looking at how you move between sovereignty and communion with another, and kind of what that could be for you in a way that is nourishing to you, and also that maintains your agency, right? That maintains your sense of yourself even in these 2 different terrains. Topic examples for the personal power bundle are discernment and unapologetic boundaries, liberation from entrapment, knowing your standards, showing your worth. Okay. The third bundle is pleasure. It's all about pleasure and really reclaiming your sexual current as your own and your pleasure body as a resource for you, as holy, sacred, and also life-giving, wise resource for you. So in that too, there are 9 webinar recordings. The practice that I included with that one is called Sweet Supple Strength, and it's an actual guided embodiment practice to support you in finding the very subtle current of pleasure, of this very subtle living current inside of you that keeps you supple and strong and nourished and sweet in the face of all that life brings, right? It's what keeps us resilient ultimately. The pleasure bundle, it's very much about, right, reclaiming your pleasure, finding it again if you feel like you've lost it, expanding it, to whatever extent it's alive in your world, and really, understanding that pleasure isn't, it's great that it's an erotic, explicitly erotic experience, but your pleasure it spans a wide range of your experience, and it can guide you. It's part of how you discern deeply what is for you and what is not for you. It's not to be ignored. What feels good, what feels right, what's nourishing, what brings you alive. We're getting really honest with ourselves about, are we tending that flame? Are we listening to that voice of guidance inside of us? And if we do, how much can actually blossom in our lives? Some topic examples for that one are fulfillment with or without a partner, female pleasure archetypes, orgasm, expanding pleasure, invitation versus demand, right? So there's a lot in all of them. You can choose, as I said, to purchase them individually. You can get them as a discounted complete series. Basically, what you'll end up with is a library of content that you can move through in your own way. You can go back and review, and practices. So I very specifically chose which practices are included in each bundle because they felt like some of the most relevant practices that I created out of the entire membership. And they are meant to be, you can use the practices almost like a single personal ritual, where you really set aside some time, go deep into the practice and gather some real insight, right, about these different topics that the practices focus around. And or they are something that you can work with ongoing, right? So all of the practices are revelatory. They will take you into yourself and start to unfold you from the inside, right? So the more you go to them, the more you discover. And every time you go to them, you'll find something new. So I'm excited. I really, the membership, that first year of the membership, was extraordinary. It really, we covered a lot of things that I have really wanted to bring voice to, and working with Dionysia and Jasmine was amazing. They're fantastic, and they brought something more. The 3 of us together, I feel like really held something like a complete field. So yeah, I would love for you to explore these and let us know if you have any questions about them. support@hermysteryschool.com, and join us if you want for the ongoing membership. We're going to move into a second year now. We're not going to be doing it in the same format. So these webinars and the way that we've done it and with the practices and things, that won't be what the second year is. The second year is going to be more of group coaching, group mentoring, going deeper into what we brought forward in the first year, and really kind of working it, really fostering this solidarity and the trust and the group fortitude that it takes to continue on a path of reestablishing authentic sexuality that is out of the box and that is for you first and foremost, and liberated from all those things that would commodify or seek to control or define you in your untamed nature. So, blessed be. here are the bundles. You can see all the information below, and yeah, you can always find us at support@hermysteryschool.com.